You know what? This is the third time that I've tried to get this video right, and so I'm just going to sit here and just talk about it. I tried to do something fancy I'll share about with you in a minute, but it just didn't work. So I'm just going to sit here and talk to you today about step number 6 on your journey to be. Today's Hot Fudge Sunday is about understanding as opposed to being understood. It's about offering forgiveness to those who have hurt you and to seek forgiveness, to make amends to those people that you've done harm to. Very important step. Step number 6 is different because of the fact that up until this point, we've been mostly focused on our relationship with God, mostly focused on learning and growing, committing, taking steps in our life. And step number 6 is about taking a new step and turning that outward towards other people. And that's hard for us because we're kind of set in our ways when it comes to relationships. And the first part of step number 6 is to understand as opposed to being understood. Most of us are very quick to let people know what we think, to let people know about us and our struggles and what's going on in our life. But we never take time to listen to them and what's happening in their life. We're so quick to speak and we're not quick to listen. And so God has given us a reminder, and that reminder is right here in our anatomy. And this is where I kept messing up. I was going in and using the mirror, and it just wasn't working. But the mirror is something that you and I both have in our homes. Every single day we can look in the mirror and be reminded of the fact that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And that is the proportion that we're supposed to be using them. We're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. And that's hard. Because we like to hear our own voices. We like to toot our own horns. We like to commiserate with other people and share with them our burdens. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just make sure if you're doing that, then you have to take twice as much time because you have to listen to theirs too. And so it is that seeking to understand that's an important part of step number 6. That seeking to understand so that you won't tolerate what someone does, so you don't agree with someone does, so you don't believe what someone believes, but so you can understand where they're coming from. It's a very important part of our process and our journey to be is in our relationship with others. We have got to get to that place where maybe we don't agree with what someone does or the actions that they take, but we understand why they do it. We understand why they've made those decisions. Because once we start to understand, then we can start walking with them. And that's really the goal when you get down to it. Our goal isn't to fix people because we can't fix anybody. We have a hard enough time trying to fix ourselves. Our goal is to walk with people. And it's hard to walk with someone if you don't understand them. And so step number 6 is about understanding. But the second part is also about forgiveness. Not forgiving someone is like drinking poison yourself and hoping the other person dies. It just doesn't work. It eats you from the inside out. And so if you need to give forgiveness, then you need to do it. And again, just with understanding, forgiveness is not about saying, I will forgive and forget, and I'll just let everything go back to the way that it used to be. No, forgiveness is about saying, I don't necessarily like what you did, but I forgive you for it. Now, there might be someone in your life that you need to forgive, but you can't be around them anymore because they're toxic to you. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because you forgive them doesn't mean that you have to do everything with them again. Doesn't mean you have to be best buddies again. Forgiving someone is letting go of that poison inside of you. But also, too, on the other side, there's that concept of making amends. Is there harm that you have done to somebody else? Maybe you didn't even realize you did harm to someone else. Maybe you haven't even realized that what you have said or the actions you've taken has hurt somebody else. Well, when you find out, you've got to make amends. And just like we use the mirror to remind us of how to listen more than we speak, there are 3 words that you can use to make amends. And it says, I am sorry. Not I am sorry, but. There's no buts in I am sorry. Because if you say I am sorry, but you made me mad, or I am sorry, but you were being an idiot, you just eliminated the power of the I am sorry. So just stick those 3 words, I am sorry. Oh, and also, too, don't say I am sorry that I made you mad. I am sorry that I hurt your feelings. It kind of ruins the whole thing too. Just say, I am sorry. When you need to make amends, say, I'm sorry, and mean it. And mean it because, remember, your goal is you want to understand. You want to understand them as opposed to be understood. That's an important part of step number 6. So that's step number 6 in a nutshell. And remember that this is a journey to be. It's not a destination to be. A journey to be means that it's a constant movement. It's not ladders to be a ladder to be climbed. It's a cyclical thing. So you might get good at step number 6 right now, but might mess it up in about a year or so, and you have to come back and revisit it. Just because you're on step number 6 right now doesn't mean that you've mastered step number 1 through 5, and you never have to revisit them again. No, we have to constantly revisit steps when we need to, because we learn and we grow, we experience new things, and that's very important for us to remember. So don't be a been there, done that kind of Christian. Be one that constantly is learning to learn and grow, learning to take new steps on your journey to be, not your destination to be, but your journey to be. And don't forget to tune in next week as we talk about step number 7 on our journey to be. And also, too, we continue to talk about the process. It's interesting that God gave us this message to listen on this day when we passed out the packets that talk about the recommendation that our board is making to our congregation. That is to sell this building and to move to a new location. If you are watching this and you're up north and you have not received your packet, be patient. It'll be in the mail. But if you don't get it, probably within a week of today, which is September 23rd, August 23rd, then make sure you call the office, because we might not have your address right, or we might not have your address at all, because some people are members of the church, but we don't have their address. We want all members to review the information, because on September 27th, we're going to have a congregational meeting, and we're going to vote as a congregation whether we accept the board's recommendation to sell and relocate. And so between now and then, we got to get good at listening. Get good at listening to what God wants us to do. So very appropriate that God puts us on step number 6 today. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday for step number 7 on our journey to be.